Welcome into the Altitude Problems Podcast, Episode 2. I'm your co-host, Big Country, alongside my partner, PV. We got a guest here tonight, Ian Rodriguez. How we doing tonight, Ian?
It's going good. How you doing, Big Country? PV, good to see you, fellas.
Good to see you. Hope you boys are doing good tonight.
Yeah, sounds like we got a listener of the pod. He asked me the exact same question PV did last week.
I just had to honor the boy a little bit. Like that line.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself, Ian.
Denver native, big Denver sports fan.
For sure.
Go Buffs, go Broncos.
Yeah, got another CU alum on the pod. Can't hurt to have that, obviously, guys. But let's just get just a general weekly update of Denver sports. Obviously, we saw the Nuggets losing Game 6 to the Timberwolves. We're recording this as of Monday, May 4th. We saw, the Aves win Game 1.
May the 4th be with you, fellas.
May the 4th be with you. Thank you for stopping us to say that. Absolutely.
May the 4th be with you.
Or Big Country, I'm not hearing it from you.
May the 4th be with you.
All right, there you go. But
Yeah.
I can continue.
We got the Avs winning Game 1 last night. Obviously, we were all together watching that. That was an emphatic Game 1 win. Hope we can keep it hot. And then, aside from, Rockies just sliding a little bit, but we'll get into that in, later in the pod. But let's just jump straight into things, PV. Talk to me about some Broncos, man.
Yeah, it's not much has been going on, but there's a few things to touch base on. Obviously, we saw the video of Bo Nix running, which is obviously a good sign given everything that happened with his ankle. It's really nice to see him active and being able to put weight on it and being able to run. Another thing is I recently saw that the Broncos do have what is considered to be the 11th easiest schedule this season, so that'll definitely be a pretty positive outlook for the season. We hope to kind of continue off of the momentum we had going last season before losing Bo Nix. Obviously, we still want to ease him back into that, so hopefully he does take the time to fully heal. But that's kind of that. Other than that, I have seen a lot of talk about people thinking or at least considering whether Jonah Coleman should be considered for the RB1 job, which is something I thought maybe Ian the native would like to talk about. What do you think about Jonah Coleman and potentially giving him that RB1 spot?
Dude, I'm excited, man. Like, looking at this kid, in college, it looks like an every down back. Like, he looks like somebody that can be, play 3 downs for you, no doubt. He's a great pass protector. I'm kind of a casual, college fan, but I see clips and stuff, here and there. Seeing a clip of him putting Sunny Style on his ass.
Yeah.
It's just huge to have a back like that, dude. JK goes down. Where did that leave us last year? We couldn't depend on RJ Harvey to pass protect, and it just, and when we bring in those other guys, it's just so telling. Like, we would bring in, I don't even know who to pass protect because there was no one to do it. Right. But it was just very telling when we would bring in a different back. Like, oh, we're gonna run the ball here, you know what I mean? So it's just exciting to have a guy that you can just switch it up and it's not going to tell what you're doing.
For sure, yeah. I mean, honestly, I felt like the talk about, Denver Bronco talk this week was we all saw that ankle of Bo Nix this week. I mean, a lot of talk about that, how fucked it looked, how it looked like he, got amputated in there. But, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? I mean, you guys are bigger Broncos fans than myself, but, if I was a fan and I had my quarterback looking like that, and obviously you saw him running, showing some positive results, but that can't be necessarily the greatest thing for the offseason.
It's just scary, bro, because it goes back to 2017. Like, in high school, even his ankles have been a problem.
Yeah.
So it's just is this gonna be a reoccurring thing? We're gonna deal with this every offseason. Like, last year it was his back. He had surgery on his back in the offseason. This year it's the ankle. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I mean, and I don't know if it's both ankles or just the one. But I know for sure that it's been a lingering thing for him.
Yeah, definitely.
That predisposed Sean Payton was talking about,
Definitely something to at least look out on for the next year or two. I don't know if you guys saw, but there's obviously a Bronco update, but I saw Mahomes is going to be ready for OTAs.
Really?
For the first session of OTAs, nevertheless, not just OTAs.
So. That's some scary hours right there. You don't want to run into that man in the regular season. Obviously, it's always going to be a test regardless of what team he has around him. I mean, obviously, you guys beat him last year twice, one without him on the team, one with. But like we said last week, PV, I mean, Chiefs are going to be reloaded and they're going to be ready to roll. And you guys are on the mountain, at top of tippy top. You guys got a lot of teams coming for you. So, yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
those,
I think
those
it's.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
My
I
bad,
think
PV.
no, you're all good. I was just gonna say, I think, like we mentioned last week, you just can't count the Chiefs out. I mean, I think they're making moves, and they're making plenty of moves on purpose, and they definitely want to still stay in this race, and they still have a lot of very important weapons. They'll always have Mahomes, so yeah, they'll always be a problem for sure.
Yeah,
But
as
go
long
on,
as you
yeah,
have those two guys, Andy Reid and Mahomes, man, you're gonna have a shot. You're not. No one's
yeah,
gonna take you easy on the schedule.
yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. Honestly, not too much to really update on the Broncos. Obviously, it's off season. Just got past the draft, and until we really
Right,
see some
yeah.
training camp and OTAs, we don't have much to really say. But
Yeah.
yeah, so let's switch base here. Talk a little Buffs action. You know, we got a trio of Buffs here, and Ian, tell me what you think about Prime, man. Do you think it's a prove it year, and if he doesn't prove it, he's out?
It's so hard to say, bro. On the field, yes, but like the revenue and stuff that he brings in, the attention that he draws to CU, it's still gonna be there. You know, all
Yeah.
publicity is good publicity, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the way they see it. I think that's the way CU sees it. But with the new AD coming in, what's his name? Lovato?
Fernando Lobo or
Fernando Lovo,
Love?
yeah.
Is it Lobo or Love?
I think it's Lovo. I think you're right. I think it's Lovo.
Yeah, came from
We'll
UNM, right?
see, dude. Yeah, in New Mexico. He's not. Maybe Prime's not his guy. So who knows?
Yeah, and I think you
That
also
kind
got
of
to
has
take
a lot to do with
take in
it.
consideration. Rick George is he's still up there. It's not like he's gone. He's a special advisor to every one of these guys.
What does that mean,
But
though? I mean, you know what I mean? Is that just like an
it's
honorary thing, or like,
I
you know?
hope not. I personally, it's he obviously saved his job with Prime a couple years early. You know, he went on a high note, but I think he kind of ducked on what was coming because not to say like he knew Prime was going to have a shitty third year, but Tad, it feels like he should be on his way out. That basketball team hasn't really done anything. Honestly, we've gotten to the dance a couple of times, gotten to the second round, but that's literally it. Even when we have like a great roster, and it
That
seems like he can't really compete in the NIL era so far.
No, you can't, dude. That team's not funded properly, or they're one of the
No,
like worst funded teams in NCAA, like Division One.
yeah, it's honestly
Like
that's a
it
bigger issue to
shows, like
address too.
it shows. Like Isaiah Johnson just has a great year. He's a freshman All American, or Big
Mm,
12 freshman of the year.
yeah,
He's on that team, and he transfers. He goes, where do you go? Texas.
Texas. Yeah, I mean, if I'm him, I'd go to Texas too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just the testament, like that, like even when we do have a big name guy, they just end up leaving anyway.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the era we're in with NIL, and when you don't have money too. I mean, I mean, I don't know if you caught it, but we thought it was like the greatest thing in the world when we got like a $6 million donation. We
Yeah,
shouted
I
it
did
from the
catch that.
rooftops, and that's probably our biggest donor. And honestly, like the fact that it only gets you like two good offensive tackles in college football is just ridiculous.
Yeah,
There
and
needs to be
then
there needs to be a change in college sports. Obviously, that's a bigger topic. But I mean, until I think we get to that, change in NIL, I don't think CU is ever going to be on top of the world. So,
in both
unfortunately,
sports.
any sport, well,
Yeah.
mainly those two, the only ones that actually matter. Let's be honest here.
What about
Um,
the women's lacrosse, man? I think they just won the Big 12.
woo, woo, woo. Proud of my lady buffs, but like, let's be honest here. Who gives a shit?
Hey,
Like,
I'm proud of them. I think I gave
we're
a shit.
proud. We're definitely proud. We'll always celebrate them, just like we'll celebrate, us winning the skiing championship. But what brings in the cheddar? What brings in the clicks? What brings in the views? And that's football and basketball. We don't have a baseball team. Our soccer's all right. No one really gives a shit about soccer here, especially college soccer. So, I mean, we need to address some needs, and I think if I also think he has a coach in waiting at OC, and I think Dion would be a great like GM for CU football. I don't know if he wants to step into that role or not, but he already kind of is that, right? But he's a horrible head coach.
Yeah,
Doesn't have good time
that role would
management.
be perfect.
And the guy that they brought in, man, he's got a ton of success. He's bounced around, obviously, which is a little scary for us, considering someone might snag him for a head coaching job. But why can't we snag him for the head coaching job and make Dion step down? I mean, his health is not there. He's just not the guy he, for one, was the first year we had him. He's already like crippling from that stage, and he was already shit back then. You know, we already had some scares.
Yeah.
So.
Even so, like I was gonna say, while we were there in his first year of coaching, I mean, he obviously brought in a lot of big names and a lot of big talent, but I personally, as a CU student, never felt that he was that great of a head coach, like as a mind, either whether it's on offense or defense. You know, it didn't feel like he had that many great plays put together. It didn't feel like he was really, contributing much as a head coach to the team. More so, like you guys are talking about, as a GM, he brought in a lot of talent, a lot of hype to the team, and that's kind of what I think he has to offer.
He's
go ahead.
He's like when you're playing Road to Glory or whatever on NCAA.
He's a motivator.
You get to choose archetype. He's the motivator, man.
100%. He would get me out of my fucking seat. Don't get me wrong. I'd fucking run a mile for that guy. I wouldn't run a mile for a lot of people, right? But like this guy, he's not the reason why we're winning between the white lines. He's the reason why we're getting players to the white lines. And if that's something he can specialize in, we can just have him do that. I feel like CU would be in a better place for our football program, because Big 12 should be easy to win, especially with the big guys out that went to the SEC. Man, CU it's kind of been the laughing stock.
Yeah, we should at least have more success, if anything.
For sure. But yeah, anything you guys want to add on for the beloved Buffs?
I don't know. I'm just I'm excited for the offense, a little worried for the defense.
Go, baby. And go style offense.
Yeah. It just
what the fuck that means.
I don't know. It just feels like the same story year after year. We just bring in these transfer guys that come from bigger schools that got no playing time at other schools. Now they're fucking starting for us.
Yeah, there's a reason why they didn't get playing time, and somehow we want them.
Yeah, so
it's just the state we're in, unfortunately.
Definitely.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get it going. Have like maybe an 8-4 season. I'd be happy with that. Obviously,
I'd be happy bowling, man. Tell you that much.
The problem with bowling now is just no one gives a shit about the bowl. Players are going to opt out. Unless you're making the Big 12 like championship, or you're making the 12 team playoff. Your game doesn't matter. That's the problem with college sports, honestly. None of these games matter. But anyway, it's getting depressing here. Let's be honest. So let's talk some Avs, guys. Like big game 1 win. Felt like if you couldn't sit down for that game, man. That game was electric. 9-6 dub. 14 different goal scorers. Obviously, McKinnon got the empty netter because everyone fucking loves that one. But what was your guys' takeaway from the Avs?
Oh, dude, I was excited.
It was a crazy game to watch. Like you mentioned, not just the fact that it was 15 goals, but it was 14 different goal scorers. I mean, you're seeing everybody put the puck in the net last night, and it wasn't like it was one period of a lot of goal scoring. It was just goal scoring throughout the game, and so it was definitely one for the ages, one to watch.
Yeah,
it's exciting to see those young, versatile defensemen, man. Fucking Makar and Hughes, dude.
Yeah, like, two guys at the top of their position too. Like it's gonna be a fun one to watch. I don't know how many games the series goes. I don't think the Avs honestly lose maybe more than one game. We're that good, I mean, they had to score 60 even to become it close, and their goal scorer is giving up the most goals throughout the playoffs. Even before that game, he was giving up the most. So I don't think the Avs are going to have a tough time finding the back of the net, in game 2 or, for the rest of the series. But Really excited from what I saw. We're obviously not like chill experts, but definitely very exciting in Denver for that team.
Yeah,
We're gonna
definitely
see
our best chance at a parade. Our
Oh
only
yeah,
last chance now.
yeah,
we're gonna see
definitely.
the other Wood this series, the other goalie.
I think you definitely got to think about it, especially when your goalie gives up 6 goals. Obviously,
Yeah,
some things didn't go his way, and he got beat on some crazy plays by the other team. Tarasenko had that crazy goal, that wraparound
That was
goal.
unbelievable.
yeah.
You just got to live with that if you're Wedgwood. But we got 2 Woods for a reason. We used them all year long. 1-1. It's kind of weird that we used Wedgwood, for the whole Kings series, but it was working. So don't necessarily want to go away from it unless it starts not working. So they're 5-0 in the playoffs so far. So I'm liking what I'm seeing.
It
But
just
Yeah.
it's exciting, man. That last
definitely,
Kings series, dude. How many goals did they score like that whole series? Like
I think they
it.
scored less than 9. To be honest
Yeah,
with you.
yeah. And they're
So
just it's like an ambiguous team, man. They know how to beat teams in their way. Where
yeah,
like you know we didn't have to
yeah.
score fucking mad goals last series. This this
Well, I
series,
think something that's not really talked about enough is how good the Kings defense was. I mean, they were I
Yeah,
think ranked
That's
8th
true.
in points allowed, goals allowed, right? And going into against a team that's a little bit worse. Their goalie's a rookie. I feel like he's feeling the pressure a little bit too. He has to be. I mean, Stars probably definitely rattled him a little bit, and going on like a little shorter rest than what the Avs were. Avs are ready to go. They weren't probably buzzing like the Wild were, but they seemed definitely ready. I mean, when you go up 3-0 in the first, give it up, go down 5-4, and then win 9-6. Love the resiliency out of both teams, but Avs, I mean, talk about like, you go up 3-0 and you give up that lead. Got to think mentally like, fuck, how the hell did we do that? And then to go
Yeah.
on, win it, stay aggressive, because the Avs play their game, that's for sure. And they kind of dictated it from the start. So that was nice to see.
Yeah. Absolutely. So hopefully we can definitely keep this momentum going forward.
yeah. That
100%,
game
yeah.
two is crucial, man. It's really crucial.
Yeah, I mean, we go 2-0. You're not beating the Avs 4 out of 5. I don't think any team is.
Yeah,
We honestly might be seeing the Western Conference Finals right now,
yeah.
too. A lot of people are saying that. So, got a treat. We got a treat on our hands for the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But
Yeah,
let's
definitely.
talk about my beloved Rockies, guys. They're falling. I believe they have lost 5 straight. Got swept by the Braves. You see a lot of positive with this team. But I mean, we were at the game on Saturday. Pitching, man. Pitching's been rough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the fact that we got swept by the Braves, I think you have to hold the fact that the Braves have been the best team in baseball. A lot of weight holds that. So, we held we held the lead in the first game against them. We had a chance in the next game. So I don't think that we were completely getting slaughtered other than that game that, of course, we went to. But it definitely, for one, the bullpen in games 1 and 2 obviously were a really big issue. Not as much 3 because our starting pitching wasn't great that game, but it's obviously something that's always needed to be addressed in Colorado. I think this was the first time this year that it was really, really a huge issue. I mean, it was a little bit of an issue maybe throughout the season before that, but I think this series was a really big issue, and so hopefully it's not a trend that we see continue.
Yeah, definitely with like our success in the pen at the start of the year. This is not obviously a shock. It's the Rockies. It's Denver. You're going to have to score runs to win here. But I was getting a little comfortable with our bullpen, man. I felt like we were untouchable for a little bit there. Definitely wrong.
Yeah.
But, the bats also, you can't like blame them for not hitting Chris Sale. Chris Sale's an all-time great. But, I don't blame the offenses for losing games 1 and 3. I mean, they put up 6 runs in the first 2 innings. Yeah, you'd like to add a couple more. You end up losing 8-6, but your bullpen gave up what, 7 in the last 2 innings? That's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
We don't want to see that. And then game 3, back and forth, and we ultimately lose 11-6. But once again, you putting up 6 runs, most games you win that. So,
Right.
but
Just disappointing, dude. I think
Yeah,
that first game, kind of just derailed the whole series for them.
yeah,
You're up big like
definitely.
that, you kind of
Big
you blow
confidence
that lead,
thing,
it kind of just creeps up in the back of your head the whole series.
especially because you got a good start from. Trying to remember his name. What was it, Lorenzen? Ooh,
Michael Lorenzen, yeah.
I think
I
it was
believe he
Lorenzen that
did
game
start, yeah.
1, and he had a great start. Like I think he gave up 1 through I want to say 6. I mean, that's amazing in Coors. Honestly, I don't mind if a pitcher gives up 3 runs in his first 5 innings at Coors because it's Coors Field, and you're always going to give up runs. You just got to be out. You got to be able to out hit these guys. And Jake Arrieta has said that best. I don't care if I give up 5 at Coors because I know my team's going to back me up with 8. It's Coors Field. It's going to happen. So, but anyway,
Yeah.
what are you guys thinking of our boy Mickey Moniac? That dude has been balling.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
He's been on a tear.
looking like that number
his
1 overall
bat's hot.
pick.
Oh,
Yep,
yeah.
10 years ago, man. That man was selected, thrown to the curb twice for Tim Anderson in LA. And now he's leading the league in multi-home run games with 4, leading the NL in home runs. Stud. The talent's there. He's finally putting it together. I can't be happier. Hope we don't trade him. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
It could happen.
It's
it
the
could
Rockies.
happen. I mean, it's not even just at the Rockies. It's just, at the point we're at, it wouldn't be the worst thing to flip him for guys that can come up and, contribute within the next couple of years. Because this is obviously not a 1-year project. This is a long-term project. We're not a win now team. So,
Right.
but yeah, hoping, Tovar turns it around. Doyle turns it around. They're having a little slow starts of the season. I feel like once it warms up a little bit, they'll get hot. But yeah, my boy Toby and BD, bro.
Yeah, Tovar's been struggling really, really mightily under 200 hitting this year. I think it was.
Yeah, it's
not looking too good.
It's not looking great, but I'm seeing some very positive things over the past 5 games. He's hitting the ball a little harder. He's getting on that fastball. He was a great fastball hitter his first couple years in the league, and this start of the year he's kind of been late and under a lot of them. I mean, that catch that we saw at the wall on Friday,
Yeah,
it was the longest hit out over the weekend, and it came off the bat at 109 miles an hour. You just gotta live with that. If you're Tovar, I feel like he's gonna turn around. He's got way too much talent to not, and BD, great defensive outfielder, and we need that in Coors. So I need him to turn it around more than anything. So
yeah.
But that kind of wraps up the mini bulk of our show, because now we got a big one, boys. Our stupid Denver Nuggets, man. What just a turn of events, honestly. You go into that series winning 12 or 13 in a row. You win game
13,
1,
including game 1, yeah.
Yeah, me and Ian were there for game 1. Electric, get that building rocking. Then you lose 3 straight.
It's like the same thing I just said, dude. Like with the Rockies, man. They blew that lead game 1, their series.
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets blow the lead game 2, that 19-point lead, dude.
Yeah.
Just derailed the whole thing, man.
Yeah, definitely.
They looked like a championship team that first quarter of game 2, for real. Jamal's in the crowd, high-fiving the fans, dapping people up. Stadium's rocking, arena's rocking.
Mm-hmm.
That second quarter, dude.
Be honest, man. What do you think is gonna go? What do you think is gonna go down? We got a lot of big decisions coming up.
I don't know if they have the means to make these big decisions we think they're gonna make. You know what I mean? The assets aren't there.
Everybody's talking, bro. It's starting to get a little loud for everything, man. You got Aaron Gordon trade, Jamal Murray trade. You're obviously not going to trade Jokic, and we're not stupid. I mean, let's be honest here. Could be stupid. But you won't obviously do that. We'll be at the gates barking at him. But, I'm personally a fan of getting rid of Edelman. People have said the reports are saying he's safe. Don't really understand it. I didn't really like his rotations, leading into the going into like those, bench players, getting those guys minutes, getting those, big guys off the floor, and that's where kind of feel you lost the game too. Jokic was playing way too many minutes. He's getting tired way too quick, because I don't think he really was having like terribly bad games. He was just, taking way too many shots. And that was because I felt like he just had to lift the load. So, I mean, what do you think, PB?
I think more than the rotations, it's a combination of two big factors. One, I mean, there was never any game plan going into any of the games. I mean, they literally lost some of their stars, and I didn't see any game plan set up around attacking the players that were brought in. I feel like we could have taken advantage of how often Terrence Shannon was in there and maybe tried shooting on him more, but instead we had a lot of terrible matchups that just weren't working, and obviously that's a game plan issue. And in addition to that, the biggest thing I think is obviously the energy. I mean, what energy does Adelman really bring to the team? I mean, your team goes down the way they did in this series, like I said last episode, and it should have been something that reflected in Game 6. Those losses need to light a fire under your ass, and you need to have your team hyped up, and you need to have them. You can't let your team just listen to all the trash talk that Minnesota was giving you and not do something about it. Instead, they kind of just backed into a corner and cowered with their tail between their legs. And so it just felt like a really pathetic outing and a really pathetic showing from David Adelman, the Nuggets as a whole. And it was just really sad to see us kind of whimper in the corner after, such a promising end to the season.
What do you think, Ian? Do you think Adelman should get canned?
Yeah, honestly, I think so, man. The lack of physicality out of the Nuggets I seen throughout this whole series was just like it was honestly just embarrassing, flat out to say.
Yeah.
You know, they outboarded us on the defensive side. We couldn't grab a defensive rebound the whole series. We let them get a ton of second chance points. Rudy Gobert pulled down more rebounds on their side of the floor than I don't know I've seen in quite some time. It was just getting pretty frustrating, honestly, and I didn't see any adjustments going that way. And then on the defensive side, um, just putting the ball in Jamal's hands, and I think honestly just too much. He was just getting out physical, bro. Uh, it looked better honestly when Tyus Jones is out there like handling the ball, being the point guard, and have Jamal off the ball a little bit more. And I didn't see that throughout the series as much as I would have liked. And it seemed like when they started to go that way, it was a little too late. Um, I know they went with the game 5 a little more in game 6, and Tyus Jones played pretty decent in game 5 and 6. Game 5, like not as many points on the scoreboard as or he didn't put up as many points, but game 6 he did. He went up there. I don't know how many points he scored. I think like 8, but
No.
it was definitely it was refreshing to see. And
Yeah.
like I said, it was just a little too late.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that one of the reasons why those players kind of showed out, I feel like in the series, players like him, Zeke Naji, and Spencer Jones, is because they're the players that actually still have the motivation and energy to try hard. I feel like when we won the championship, we had Jamal, we had Christian Brown, we had Aaron Gordon. Everyone was just flying across the court. They were trying their hardest. You saw the physicality that we needed. You saw the effort that needed to be put in. And so with the starters this year in this series, I just didn't see it. And so it wasn't until we brought in those backup role players like Spencer Jones that you actually started to see at least even a little bit of physicality. And obviously, Jokic being a big problem in that as well. He just was really weak down low on offense and on defense. He wasn't getting any boards. He wasn't boxing out. And it's just something that needs to be addressed. And if you don't have a coach that's addressing it, it's a problem. It's something that needs to be fixed.
Yeah, and honestly, if we don't get rid of Adelman, we obviously know there's changes coming regardless. You can't run the same team out there and expect the same result. So, I mean, if we do make some trades, and I feel like those are coming. I could definitely see AG thinking that he played his last game here already. Unfortunately, people like to call him Mr. Nugget and shit like that. I've been calling for his ass to be traded for years. Even because I feel like he, as he's, gotten older, gotten less athletic, he's kind of matured into more of a shooting game, not as addressed in the paint as much. And I feel like that's what made Aaron Gordon for the Nuggets, especially with, Jokic throwing him the lob down low. And I think a trade would honestly be a little necessary, especially with his health recently. What do you do with Peyton Watson? Not too sure if he's unrestricted or restricted free agent, but he's going to cost some money regardless. And Christian Brown, I mean, what do you do with him, man? Like, he didn't show up, and we're paying him $25 million starting next year. So
you're locked into these contracts, man. Like, no one is going to want to pick that up.
I mean, and honestly, your most valuable asset might just be Jamal. I mean, he's coming off a career year. Not saying break up the deal, because no one wants to see that. No Nuggets fan really wants to see Jamal gone. He had a horrible Game 6. I'll say horrible series. But, if you want to reset this, if you want to blow this up, you want to get a new identity with the Denver Nuggets, I mean, Jokic is going to be the centerpiece to all of it, but how do you manipulate the guys around him so he can operate and do better for the Nuggets? But he's still going to be him. Everyone knows that. But I think first step is honestly firing David Adelman. Him and his fucking gap can go.
Just seems like they revert back to that 2-man game with Jamal and Jokic too much. Like,
yeah,
it's been getting exposed. Like, it didn't work, dude, and they just kept going back to it, man. Just those handoff screens, man. It just wasn't working. Jaden McDaniels was eating that shit up the whole series, dude.
And they're a lengthy team. They're a great defensive team. And you know what
That's
the Nuggets
like the kryptonite right there.
Not.
Yeah.
Nuggets don't know how to fucking play defense, it felt like, for half that series. All you had to do was go at Jamal and you were getting to the basket. That's what it felt like. It was sloppy, man. He wasn't in his knees, maybe he was tired. Long season. Everyone knows that. But, like, those guys didn't look tired. In a damn minute did they look tired. Any game. They lose their 2 best shooters. And they stick a fucking fork in our hearts in games 3 and 4 without him. Like, how? Like, honestly.
Defenders, bro. That team's built with defenders. Top to bottom.
Yeah, and Terrence Shannon looked like fucking prime D Rose in that game 6. Like, what are we... It got me mad, man, to say the least. And I mean, who do you think we should trade for if we do get rid of these guys?
I think we're just stuck in a really bad purgatory. I think the problem with if you wanted to move Aaron Gordon is you're not going to get much back for him. And I think there's a lot of players that's going to be the case for on our team. I think we trade Cam Johnson. We can only afford Cam Johnson or Peyton Watson. I say we invest in Peyton Watson. I mean, obviously we're missing a lot of physicality down low, and so that's going to be something he brings to the team. And Cam Johnson was supposed to be a great shooter for us. Didn't see too much of that. We obviously did see some bright spots in this series occasionally, but I do think, unfortunately, it is going to be kind of a quick trip for Cam Johnson in Denver. Someone to trade for, I think you guys mentioned this when we talked last. It would be great if we could somehow manage a trade for Zion. Obviously that's kind of a big ask and not really feasible, but if we could bring somebody that big and physical down low, that's kind of the type of player at least that we're looking for.
Yeah, no, I like that Zion idea. I think it'd be cool to bring him in and just like have a role like Aaron Gordon was before, before all these injuries. I think he's physical down low. I think he can buy you a bucket. It helped with defense inside the paint. But like Pat said, I don't know how feasible it really is.
Honestly, you got to mortgage a little bit of the Nuggets' future beyond all these guys, giving up firsts, seconds. Like, you're going to give up, like, potential depth, and honestly, the end of the Nuggets' prime. Like, right at the end, this team is going to be ass. And that's a pill we're going to eventually have to swallow. But, we got arguably, top 3 center of all time right now. 3-time MVP. You're not going to waste this. You got to go all in every year, And I'm not gonna, say you should necessarily get rid of Jamal, but if someone's willing to offer something great for him, I can see his time being up. I can see any of these guys' time being up with the Nuggets, except for Jokic, obviously. So, I mean, Cam Johnson, I do agree. He's probably on his way out. He's got an expiring contract. He looks very tradable. Someone's going to want him. But the thing with all these guys is, like, what are you really going to get back unless you give up multiple firsts? I mean, you're not really going to get much of a younger player, like a young star, because we got a bunch of fucking old heads. So, yeah.
I'm hoping maybe we can invest more time, and maybe Darren Holmes kind of steps into one of those big man roles. You saw a little bit of him near the back end of the season. I think he's a big young player that could potentially step into that physical role, but obviously he only has maybe a half year under his belt thanks to that big injury he faced. So hopefully we can see a little bit more of him soon.
Yeah, definitely just like developing the young guys we do already have now. I mean, Peyton Watson was like a prime example of just like someone who finally blossomed this year. Obviously injuries suck, and he faced adversity down the stretch and didn't get to finish his season. But he was a diamond in the rough. I mean, he averaged 2 points a game at UCLA. And he was averaging almost 20 this season. So yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's just such a hard conversation for the Nuggets to have. I mean, you're going to get rid of someone probably you really like, and someone the fans are not going to, want to see go, I feel like. But I guarantee you this is going to be an entirely different team next year. So, yeah. And you got anything else?
How much different is the series that Peyton Watson plays?
I think it's a huge difference. I don't know necessarily that we end up winning the series if the rest of the team plays as effortless as they did. But I think that bringing him in would have, for one, brought another scoring outlet, which we desperately needed in this series, especially in that last game. And obviously, as we keep hammering the same point, the physicality down low, he would have been jumping in, flying around, and you always see him just trying to make those big plays, diving at balls on the ground, flying for shots. So that's the type of effort we needed. So I think it would have given us a much better opportunity, a bigger shot for sure.
Yeah, like him, AG just being those defensive guys that we lost. It's not said it's the reason why we lost, because if you look at the Game 6 box score, you can see exactly why we lost. On the offensive end, for one, Jamal going like 4 for 15 doesn't help. Makes literally 3 or 4 more shots, you probably win that game. Or, when the offensive rebound discrepancy is almost 15, that's ridiculous. That's heart right there too. That means they want it more than you. So
yeah.
And props to the Timberwolves, man. Like the fact that they got that done, without their big guns, even without the guy that came in, gave him a huge lift to beat us in what game? Was it game 3 or game 4 when Desumnu dropped 40? I want to say game 4.
It was game 4.
I mean, game of his life. I mean, where's that type of player for us? The guy that you will never think is going to make that type of game. We just never had that once. And I don't think we even have that type of player on the Nuggets right now. No one's giving us 40 off the bench.
No, definitely not.
I'm hoping we go out and like make a splash at head coach and make some splashes in the trade market, because otherwise this team is not going to win a chip next year. So, yeah. Who do you guys think is I mean, it was kind of like switch base here because it was a little depressing talking about the Nuggets, but we got round 2 going on tonight. Started tonight. We saw the Knicks take care of the Sixers, yeah. Handedly too. I mean, Jalen Brunson had 27 in the first half. What are we thinking for Eastern Conference right now?
I like the Knicks, man.
Yeah, I think the Knicks locked down the Eastern Conference. I mean, they've had that team put together for a few years now. They have the chemistry. They all have playoff experience, And I think today obviously really showed. Obviously, given that the 7th seed beat the Celtics, it kind of made it a little bit easier of a road for them. And so I do think that, given that the Celtics were taken out of the contention, it's going to make it that I think that put them at the top for the strongest contenders. I really don't think that the Pistons are going to be someone that I think can compete with them.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of that Eastern Conference is so balanced. You really could see any one of those 4 teams potentially come out. I think each series might go like 6 or 7 games. I mean, Pistons were on the brink of death anyway. Kind of, had a great surge at the end. They're probably going to get past the Cavs if I had to bet. Cade playing at MVP level when he has to. That's kind of the point. Like you were saying earlier, Pat, like when they were down 3-1, this dude wasn't doing shit, But the last 3 games, he put up 40, 30, and 30. I mean, if he has those type of games, he put the team on his back. The Pistons are going to win games. But if I'm taking like a little underdog bet, I really do think the 76ers could beat the Knicks in 7. I mean, they have a lot of names. They have some depth. And they're much bigger than the Knicks. So I think you could see a potential upset there. I kind of want to see PG get a ring or even get a chance at a ring. Let's be honest here. The West is probably going to win this in the end. But, yeah. What do you think, Ian?
No, I'm excited. I think both these series are going to be pretty good. I think it's like you guys already mentioned, the East is really balanced. With the Celtics getting knocked out, it seemed like they were kind of the favorite coming out of the East when the playoffs started. And then when they go up 3-1, they blow that. So all these teams' paths got like a lot easier with those guys out. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I like the Knicks because I like their depth. I like their role players. I think they got I think they have the means to make a deep run. They went to the conference finals last year. They should have beat that Pacers team. I think that's like kind of like in the back of their minds for sure. That series from last year. I think it might be a year that they finally get over the hump and make that finals run.
Talk about Timothy Chalamet, man. I mean, that dude just said, fuck you to Kylie Jenner. I'm going to the Knicks game 1.
You got
Stones on that man, bro. Fuck.
You stay true to heart, dog.
That ass, bro. What a guy, honestly.
Marty Supreme in the cut.
We should all aspire to be a little bit more like Timothy, bro. Sports matter more than bitches. And then do you guys think there's any chance the Lakers can possibly dethrone the Thunder?
No.
I don't, dude.
Yeah, it's a quick one. I mean,
no, I don't.
I love to say LeBron can get it done one more time. I think it would be awesome to see. It would really just, put a storybook ending in his career. But that team is so defensively, built.
I think the Thunder are just too good.
Ass. Like, you can score from any one of those guys, dude. And they have feels like they have scores at 6, 7, 8 on their bench, man. Like, they're just disgusting. Jalen Williams is out game 1, though. And I feel like that's something to watch. Not saying it's going to be that much of a problem for them. They've won without him all year.
Yeah.
But don't give LeBron a fucking chance to win, LeBron's going to take the game over if he has to.
I think that the Thunder are just simply just too good. I mean, they don't lack really anything anywhere. They have great game plans going into every game, phenomenal defense on every side of the ball, on ball, off ball defense. They know how to score. I mean, the Thunder were champions last year for a reason. They'll probably do it again this year. They have a lot of players that put a lot of effort out there. One of those players being someone like Alex Caruso, who kind of just flies around the court. And then one that a lot of people don't like, but he definitely still puts a lot of effort forth, is Lou Dort. Kind of a
big bag,
considered a little bit of a dirty player, but
Very
he definitely still puts a lot of effort out, and he still brings a lot of that energy that a championship team needs.
Yeah, a little live update, boys, by the way. But
and they can shoot lights out.
Losing to the Timberwolves right now.
The Spurs are losing?
Yeah, with 1:19 to go, the Spurs are down 5.
Wow.
Ant-Man I don't know how the hell he is playing. Props to him. I can't hate that man, truthfully. The dude's too funny and too talented to be hated on by me. I mean, basically on one leg, and he's shooting 8 for 13 right now. On 24 minutes. Like, you got to know there's a minute restriction there. I mean, that team's playing with a ton of heart, playing for their common man and DiVincenzo, man. Honestly, if there's any team I'm really rooting for out west, it's probably the Timberwolves, even though they beat the Nuggets. Like, I can't really hate this team that much. You know, they talk their shit, but they backed it up.
Man. It's those teams that hustle, dude.
Plus,
those hustle points, man.
I'm not rooting for Wemby, man. Nor Shea. There's some pussies, bro. But
not a fan. Not a fan of Wemby.
Not a big fan. I mean, I mean, you could like have your take on him, but like, I think he's just good because he's tall.
No,
what's really other than? I mean, he's obviously crazy good. You know, he has a 3, but like,
it's just versatile.
Had a 3.
He's extremely versatile. He can dribble.
Bobo's a code, man.
He has I think he has double-digit blocks in this game.
Yeah, he does. 12, I think he just set the record blocks. Actually for most blocks.
You know, matter of fact, you know, Wemby's a god, but I'd much rather see the Timberwolves come out of this series because I think they honestly played the Thunder really well, you know, and they're the type of team that can play defensively as good as them too. So I think that would be a great conference final matchup. But yeah, Ant-Man's
didn't we get that conference final matchup last year?
Yeah, but I mean, the thing with Ant-Man, bro, is that dude just, I swear to God, he takes like one series at a time, and he usually comes to like the biggest one, he usually folds. So hopefully that is not the case this year.
I mean, back-to-back Western Conference Finals, they probably should have made it against the Mavericks the year they beat us.
Dude, that Mavericks team was nasty, though.
Yeah, the Mavericks wiped the floor with them that year.
Out of their minds. 2-point game, by the way, 30 seconds left.
Wemby just dunked on Jaden Daniels.
Of course he did.
Let's go.
He can dunk on anyone. But, yeah. But let's get to our last segment of the night, fellas. We're wrapping this up. Got a little parlay for game 1 of Lakers, Thunder, and what was the other one, Pat?
Lakers, Thunder, Pistons.
Cavs, Pistons.
Oh, yeah, it was Pistons, yeah.
Yeah.